This time on the Blue Couch Conversation, I have my good friend and fellow vendor, Steph from Gimmee Some Sugar.
Hi.
Gimmee Some Sugar.
Oh, I will gladly give you some sugar.
Please
Look at
sit.
this cozy couch.
I know, the big blue couch.
I'm going to squeeze this shiny pillow.
There you go. So Steph,
Hi.
you're a baker. You
I
own
am.
Gimmee Some Sugar.
I do.
What is your passion? What drives you? And how did it all begin?
All the things. Okay, so when I was little, I baked with my grandma. And she would stand me on this really cool little step stool thing that folded up and down and unlocked doors and like cooked things on its own. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
And we would cook and we would bake and we would laugh and we'd have flour on our face. And she's actually the namesake too. So she would say, "Give me some sugar," to give her a kiss. So when I thought about opening a bake shop, I thought that "Give Me Some Sugar" would be a really kitschy, cute little name.
I love it.
Yeah.
And there's that sentimental meaning.
Yeah, I kind of have her in my heart.
Love it. We all love our grandmas.
Yeah.
So where's the passion?
I'm
you
dead
started
inside. I don't
baking,
have passion.
you know,
No, I'm
some passion.
totally dead inside. So I would say equally so would be the family history. I think that things like food, baking, any of that has to come from either a family history or a personal love, or both, of food and speaking to people with that sort of communication through food. So for me, I actually am a very emotional, empathetic, very passionate person.
Okay.
I like to communicate. I want to get to know you. I want to know all your feelings and your thoughts and all the things. And I typically like to do that over food or drinks. And so I like to cook for people. I like to bake for people. And that turned into a business.
So on that, if someone walked into your shop, had no idea what they were doing, they need a wedding cake, they need an event cake,
Okay.
whatever it is, how do you guide them through that? What is the process? How do you share the love of what you do with them?
Well, typically they have already gone online, or they have 3 million pictures printed out, or they've visited our Facebook or Instagram, or they've gotten some sort of inspiration. And they have a vision. If it's a wedding, they've clearly gone to Pinterest. If they have a coordinator like Fairy Godmother, they've spoken to someone and they have some sort of idea of what they want. What I encourage them to do is take the different things that they like and take things that they don't like, so that I can see those things together. Because as an artist, I have my own ideas. I need to be reined in.
Right.
Okay?
Because you come from
So,
here and
yes,
you have to get all
I
the
need
way
to go
one
from
thing.
here to here.
Okay.
And technically speaking, you need to be able to give vendors like me a little bit of artistic license, because there's going to be times when we're dealing with, butter makes buttercream, and buttercream as the icing isn't white. And if I'm making a bunch of flowers with white buttercream or ivory buttercream, I need to know that I can make, just different size flowers than you thought, because this is what looks best on the cake today.
Right.
It's, so the conversation that needs to be had is, do you trust me to make what is best for this cake in the time that I'm making it? Because it's what I do. That's all.
Gotta trust the pro.
Yeah.
All right. So on that, has there ever been any sort of natural disaster, misfortune that has kind of made you, and then you have to fix it?
Yeah.
That's day of event, wedding,
Well,
whatever the event
we
may
are
be.
pretty perfect. So, no, I'm just
We're
kidding.
all perfect.
14 years almost, I think this year is we've been going strong, thank God. And only a few snafus. And one I can remember the most is I was pregnant with my daughter, so I was on maternity leave. And super sick my whole pregnancy. And I got a call from my employees at the time, who were very well trained. I get to work with a lot of different types of talent levels and different people, and I'm very grateful for all of my employees that have worked for me, but things happen.
Absolutely.
And I got the call that you don't want.
The call.
I wanted to just hang up the phone.
What was the call?
The call was the cake fell. They didn't build it very well with dowels, and it knocked over in the car. So one whole side was kerfuffled.
Kerfuffle.
It's a word.
It's a word. Okay, I like it.
And so I got in the car. Well, I just asked them where they were. They happened to be very close. And I wanted to send lightning bolts from the heavens, but I chose not to talk to the big guy. I let him off for the day. And I hurriedly showed up, walked into the refrigerator in the kitchen at said location, and I proceeded to think on the spot, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna vomit or I'm going to fix this. Of course, the vomit was obviously the pregnancy and the nerves, but I said, okay, everybody split up. We have lots of wedding arrangement, floral arrangements. So we're gonna do this. And we're going to have a floral swag on the cake that wasn't there before. It was not in the original design, but it's going to be now. And it's gonna be beautiful.
By creative mind.
I'm just saying, it's really our only option. And nobody's gonna know the better because it's either we have a cake or we don't, right? So I put them on that, and it was my job to go deliver the horrifying news that the cake was going to exist, it just was going to exist in a totally different design. So I walked into the bathroom at said location as the bride was cooling fits of nerves, and it's a Runaway Bride reference. And she was very upset, obviously. She had already been told that her cake had fallen over.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and actually, when you hear that, your cake fell over. I mean, that sounds awful.
Mm-hmm. All about context.
Sure. So here I walk in and I'm like, hi, I'm the person that owns the place that your cake fell over. And she didn't feel any better, you know. And so I just said, look, I'm going to fix it and it's going to be gorgeous. And she's like, what are you going to do that makes it any better? And I said, listen, I'm going to steal some flowers and I'm going to make a beautiful floral swag. And it's going to be nothing like your original design. And that's okay. You know why? Because you're going to have a cake out there. And it's going to be yum, yum in your tum-tum.
I like it. So this is where you said like remix?
Wicka wicka, remix. And she was like, that's my jam. You know why? Because there's a cake out there and no one's going to know. And she ate it up and she was happy. And I offered her a refund. And we were like, besties.
There you go.
Not really, but she was happy.
So you solved it though.
I did.
Problem solved.
I did. And so she ended up actually writing me a really positive review and sent me a thank you letter that actually made me cry, because had I not just thought about, you know, what would I want, I would have just really want my cake there for people. And so I just, you know, I felt good.
That's a good one.
I'm sure it was my in-womb daughter giving me the strength, woman power.
Vibes. There you go. So on that, we'll just trickle in. Have you ever had an experience with Fairy Godmother, and how was it?
You know what? I'm glad you asked. First of all, I have had many positive, fantastic experiences personally with Fairy Godmother.
That's what we like to hear.
But the cool thing that I want to share is all the things I've ever heard from my colleagues, my brides, my friends, is that the weddings that have been coordinated by Fairy Godmother are all flawless. And I think that the reason that impresses me so much is because I know that weddings aren't flawless. And so the fact that you guys are making it look flawless is genius. And
we call that Grace Under Fire.
I love Grace Under Fire because I know what it takes to do that. And for these people to really have that impression means you're doing something right. And you're respecting visions. I love it when a bride comes in and says, I love it that the Fairy Godmother people don't try to push their ideas on me. And that just, as an artist, I really respect that. And I just want to thank you for that, because they just don't feel, you know, pushed and disrespected in the artistry department. So.
Well, on behalf of Fairy Godmother, we thank you for that.
No, thank you.
So, as people are coming into your shop, leaving your shop, what is the best piece of advice that you can give someone?
You know what? There's just so much going on in the world. I think that people need to be kinder. So I think when you come in, you've got so much on your plate for your wedding, or even if it's a birthday, or there's so many different things to coordinate. So let's say Fairy Godmother sends me a birthday party client. Think about what you're saying before you say it, and be kinder to people, because you never know what's going on in their life and how you can really positively affect someone's day with a smile.
I love it. Well, I love your smile, and I love that you came. We're able to
thank
share.
you. I love
Thank
being
you,
here.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
Steph from Gimmee Some Sugar,
Thanks,
we
guys.
thank you for being on our episode this week.
Come get a cookie.
Darling, I love you. You say goodbye, away you fly. But on your lips you keep a kiss. All your life you'll dream of this love.